Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today we have Kiara Johnson on my channel today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
I am from Anderson, South Carolina. I have 3 kids. I just finished school. I just turned in my last assignment, so I will be graduating as an MLT. I have 4 books out right now. I've been writing since I was probably in middle school is when I started writing. I won a contest in middle school, and I also have some poems that I got put into a book in school. So I've always just kind of had that passion to write, and I got on my friends' nerves a lot writing poems and stories in school. So
Okay. What genre do you write in?
mostly urban fiction. I'm trying to do a little bit of like mystery. I'm working on a kids book with my daughter, which is called A Diabetic Superhero, because I have a son that's diabetic. So, gotta go out. So we're working on that right now. So I'm just trying to keep my options open.
Okay.
So mostly urban fiction.
Okay, tell us about your books.
My first book, I actually wrote it in high school, and I didn't get it published until I think 2014, and it's called This Can't Be Love. And it's just about a young girl just kind of trying to find love. She went through an abusive relationship, and then kind of was just back and forth in between different guys, and just never thought she would find the right guy, and losing parents, the typical stuff. And finally, she did find the right guy, and she fell in love with him. That was my first book, so I kind of grew from that one a lot. So I took a lot of criticism on it and took that and tried to grow in my next one. I have another book. It's called Delusion of Love, and it's a part 2 to it. So it's a part 1 and part 2. It's about a girl that has a mother who is bipolar, and she also has taken on that trait. And so in the midst of being bipolar, she's trying to find love, but she does some outrageous things when she's in her maniac stage that you will not believe. And if you read the first one, I promise you'll want to read the second one, but you have to read the second one because it all comes together of why it's such a delusion of love. I don't want to tell because then it gives the book away. And then I have A Broken Masterpiece, which is my baby that I just had published, come out in February. And I really kind of just tried to put a lot into this book that I feel like us as women go through, whether it's losing children, losing parents, going through an abusive relationship, stuff that just breaks us. But just the order to say that, yeah, you're broken, but you're still like a masterpiece. You're still beautiful. You still can, be built back up. So that was my main focus in this book. It deals with a lot. It talks about rape and stuff like that, child molestation. So it's really deep, and some people, might can't handle it, but I think it's a good read and definitely worth reading. And it has a twist at the end. So.
Okay. And would you like to read a snippet of it?
Yeah, let's find one before we started. Let me see. I'll just read from the first page. I'm trying to look all the way through it. Alrighty, let me see. I'll just start here. Mom quickly ran to the door, closing and locking it before he changed his mind. She snatched me into her arms and hugged me so tightly it hurt. Tears cascaded down her cheeks, soaking my shirt. She released me, taking my hand, leading me into my closet. I want you to stay here. I'm going to talk to your daddy. I'm sure everything will be all right, but just in case you stay in here. Don't come out till I come and get you. Do you hear me? Mommy, is daddy going to hurt you? I sobbed uncontrollably. No, baby, daddy will never hurt mommy. He's just tired. I promise everything will be okay. Why does he act like that? I don't know, sweetie, but I got you, okay? She kissed me on the forehead as she got up to close the door. No, Mom, don't leave me, please. I grabbed her legs. Kay, I will be right back. I just want to make sure Daddy is asleep so we can go to bed. She removed my hands from around her legs and instructed. I go further in the closet. Don't come out until I return for you. I nodded my head as she left out, closing the bedroom door behind her. She was downstairs for a few minutes before the arguing ensued. As the bickering, my dad's voice grew so loudly that I jumped back. retreating me further into the closet. I could hear Mom crying as my dad yelled out words I never heard him say before. I put my head down and covered my ears to drown out the yelling, but it didn't do anything for what I heard next. Startled, a loud popping noise echoed through the house. I never heard anything like it before.
Oh, wow. All right. How did you break into the publishing world?
I went back and forth about trying to get my book published. And my husband was the one that told me, all they can say is no. So I was used to read a lot of Shan's books that writes, and I used to read a lot of her books. And I seen that she had a publishing company, so I reached out to her and I sent her my first 3 chapters. And she was like, "It's different, but I like it." So I went ahead and sent her the rest of my manuscript, and she signed me. So I was first signed with Shan's publishing company, and I did my first 3 books with her. And I love her; she's a great publisher. But I did venture out with this one, and I now with Literary Freedom Publishing Company with Kiara Walker, and I absolutely love her. She pushes me, and she definitely is a great publisher. So,
okay. What do you think your role is in the writing community?
I think for me, I want to inspire people with my writing, like with this book especially was like one of those, like to inspire people, to make people feel like you're not alone in certain situations. I was in an abusive relationship, so you might notice some of my books talk a lot about it. So just, be of encouragement to, let people know, get lost in the book. Sometimes it's okay to just read a book and maybe take all those emotions that you might be feeling and have a day of just reassuring yourself. So that's my biggest thing.
What advice would you give to an aspiring author?
Don't give up. Keep trying. There are going to be times when, somebody might tell you they don't like your book. There are going to be good reviews. There are going to be bad reviews, but you have to just take them with a grain of salt, the bad ones, and just work on it to become a better writer. But definitely push for it. Get as much information as you can, and just work on your writing every chance you can. Just never stop writing. Even when you get writer block, just try to write as much as you can.
How do you come up with your covers and titles?
My titles just come to me based off of, most of the time they just come to me before I even start writing. I just be like, I want to write, and this is the title. I think one of them might have came. My first one, Shan actually picked that title out for me, but my other ones, I picked out the titles based off of what I was feeling the book was going to be about. The covers, it's been different choices. Shan's picked out one of them. The other 2 I picked out, and with this one I found it and I fell in love with it, and I was like, it fits the title of my book perfect. So I just kind of shop around. Lately I've been buying covers before I have the book even in mind, so I'm working on it.
What's the best way to market your books?
Social media, I think, is a big right now, for anybody. Like, a lot of people are into social media trends, so whatever's trending, whatever's going on, they are all about, oh, let me go see what it is, whether it's good or bad. So I think if you want to market, social media, maybe just getting the word out there, going to different events and stuff if you can, and just getting your name out there.
Are you a reader?
I am. I haven't read a lot lately just because of school and my kids and stuff, but that is what I used to love to do, is read. I haven't read in a while, though, like a lot of books like I used to.
When did you realize you wanted to become an author?
When I was in middle school, I actually seen my older cousin. She used to write plays, and I started getting into it, and I started writing poems. I used to write a lot of plays. And like I said, I won a contest in middle school, and I think that's what really kind of triggered it. Like, I won out of the whole school, so I just kind of ran with it from there. I've always wrote poems and short stories and plays, and I wrote my first book, like I said, in high school.
Mm-hmm. What has been the toughest criticism given to you as an author?
Let me see. I think the toughest one I've gotten or heard was just, I'm trying to think. I take all of them to heart, but I think with my first book, a lot of editing errors and a lot of the way I wrote the book, and you know, people just felt like it was a good book, but it wasn't structured well, and I took that and kind of just tried to better myself. So that was probably like the worst that I've probably gotten, actually.
Okay. Does your family support your career as an author?
They do. They love it. They buy my books. They always tell me they have a backup plan though, so I do that. But they do. They support me.
How long on average does it take you to write a book?
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I have wrote my latest book that's coming out, called my mind was blank, called Redemption, which will be out in May. I wrote that within like 2 months. A Broken Masterpiece, I actually started it like 2 years ago, just now finished it, and it's a whole different storyline than what I started. So it can range. It just really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm really focused, I can get them done within like a couple of months. If not, it can take me a year or two just to get it down to where I want it.
Mm-hmm. What projects are you working on right now?
I have a book that's coming out in May. I'm not sure the date yet. We're in the editing part of it. It's called Redemption. And that was about a girl whose family was killed when she was younger, and she's basically going to school to be a lawyer and try to get justice for her family. So it's kind of an interesting twist to that one too. And then I am also working on a diabetic book with my daughter, called The Diabetic Superhero, where she's drawing the pictures and I'm writing. And I also have another one coming out soon called A Thin Line Between Sane and Insanity.
Oh, wow. How do you balance the demands of writing with other responsibilities, such as raising a family and school?
It's been hard, but I try to space it out, as far as making sure I stay on top of my schoolwork. You know, I would write when I could and in between classes or in between trying to get a test done or breaks in school. With my kids, I kind of try to write at nighttime when they're asleep or when they're just in their own zone playing. And with my husband, I kind of just tell him, like, I just need to get this done. So can you focus on the kids right now? So he's been a big help with helping me to get it done.
What do you think makes a good story?
I think a lot of structure to it, substance, and a good flow to it, and just, I love mystery, so I like to give you this all and then hit you with a twist. So I think just getting you drawn into it in the beginning, and then, you know, just making sure I keep you going with it and keep it flowing and that energy, and then I'm always, like I said, I love to put a twist in.
Okay. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I can. I said I think just having like a good structure to it, like a good flow of it, just like good characters, and you know, getting you drawn in as soon as you start reading it, and just kind of just keeping you there. And I'm all about like the twists and stuff like that. I love to put a twist in the book to have you like, wait, I did not expect that coming. So I just think that you just have to have the good editing, the good structure, and just keeping it flowing, like a good storyline.
Okay. What has been your greatest accomplishment thus far as a writer?
A broken masterpiece, and the reason why I say that is because I see my own growth in it. Like I see the way I talk in it, the way I say words, and I gotta give a lot of that to my publisher because she kind of, I need you to work on how you word stuff and try to use, you know, better metaphors and stuff like that. So I've really pushed myself in doing that. I also, she made me edit it, a lot of it myself, so that kind of helped me to kind of focus more on that when I'm writing myself. Like, okay, go ahead and edit this and look at it now. So I've grown a lot with this one. So I feel like this is my biggest one yet, and I just feel like I'll grow even more from it.
Okay. Where can readers find you and your books?
Right now, all my books are on Amazon, Kindle, Unlimited. Also, you know, you can order the paperbacks on there, or you can get in touch with me on my Facebook, Kiara Johnson, or Shamel Stories. I have two of them. Or my Instagram is Arthur Shamel. Um, I also have them on Goodreads, so you can also find them on there if you don't use Amazon.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
No, I just would like to thank you for your time, and I hope that y'all all go out, get my books, give me a try. I am still considered a new author, and I'm still trying to get my name out there. So,
Can you show us your book cover one more time, please?
I will.
All right, all right. A Broken Masterpiece. Shamel, is that how you pronounce it?
Shamel.
Shamel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, would you like to play a game before you go?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, it's my favorites. Your favorite color?
Blue and purple. It's like a mixture, mainly blue.
Your favorite childhood book?
Rainbow fish.
Your favorite food?
Crab legs.
Ooh, ooh. And this last question, what snack or drink when you're writing, in your writing mode?
I eat ice. I crave ice, so I'm always crunching on ice and sweet tea.
Oh, okay. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
for coming in today. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.
Bye.